Three things. One, welcome to another QSC testimonial. Two, always wear a helmet. Three, come with me to meet Patrick Herr. I think he's like up here somewhere.
I think this is oh, awesome. Cool. Oh, hey, two questions. Is this Puss in Boots? And are you Patrick Herr, local yoga teacher and D&D Master?
Yes, and yes.
You also work with the Queer Strength Coach. Could we ask you a couple questions?
I do, yeah, since February, I think.
So you said that you'd been working with the Queer Strength Coach since February. What were you doing prior to that? Like, were you working with any coaches? Were you active? Were you training?
So I never worked with a coach before Dan, the Queer Strength Coach. But before that, I was big into yoga. I still am. Practiced yoga about 8 years, but really never was into weightlifting or strength training at all.
What would you say your biggest challenge was prior to working with the Queer Strength Coach?
Do you have an hour? I'd say like body image issues have been an issue of mine for a while. I grew up a little bit on the heavier side. You think back to like childhood insults and you still remember that like one kid who called you fat in 3rd grade. I do. So that's something that I've dealt with. Right.
I'm kidding.
Name named. I grew up, I became taller, so I became kind of like skinny, fat, and then I found yoga, became leaner, but was never really as strong as I wanted to be. I could never even do a pull-up. I remember that like hanging arm balance in elementary school. I hated that. So I knew that the strength was something that I wanted to work on a lot, and that's why I reached out to Dan.
I think a lot of people watching this are going to relate to how those early childhood experiences impact us and carry us through life. What would you say was like the biggest challenge overcoming that within this process?
Probably the biggest challenge was just growing more confident with myself and also my perspective on food, which was a big part. Speaking with Dan, we didn't just talk weightlifting and strength training. We also talked nutrition, mental health, pretty much any aspect that I needed support with, we could talk about. And for a lot of the time growing up, I didn't really think about nutrition all that much. And it would be kind of like a rubber banding of like, I'll eat healthy, but then I like eat snacks and ice cream, which I'll never turn away a sweet treat. And then I'll like lose weight, and it was just like fluctuating. But over the course of my time with Dan, we learned about like nutrition dense foods. Eating smoothies every morning is a great way that I stay full and don't really need to snack as much. The nutritional aspect and becoming more confident in the choices I make for food was a big learning point.
Had you taken any other approaches or steps prior to working with the Queer Strength Coach to help you overcome some of these challenges you were facing?
Not really. Yoga obviously has an impact on like my physical and mental well-being, but in terms of nutrition, I was just kind of going with the flow, wasn't really ever making significant progress that I could stick with. Speaking with Dan, we outlines a plan and very simple guidelines to consider when you're thinking about what you want to eat or your workouts as well. Not restrictive at all. I never felt restricted during any aspect of working with Dan. One thing to call out is we have weekly check-ins and also just quick surveys that he sends out just to check in with our progress. And I'm also less concerned about being heavier or being lighter. I just trust the process and know that I'm working towards being healthier. And if that means like one day I eat ice cream, it's fine. It'll all even out in the end since I know that I'm working towards that specific goal of being healthy. So I have videos from the very first workout that I did back in February, trying to push up from crow pose. And there was like no movement at all. I was like, holy shit, this is a lot harder than I thought. But now I'm doing band assisted crow pose against a Smith machine and pushing up into handstand. I mean, something else to note, I mentioned that I hate pull-ups. Well, not hate them, I just couldn't do them. I'm now doing weighted pull-ups. Like, it's pretty crazy, the progress, and it's great to look back at the videos and see all that progress. I have a lot more strength upper body wise with the pull-ups, with the push-up to handstand, and also just my handstand stability in general from practicing the past 6 months has really improved.
Hey Patrick, what would you say your reservations were, if you had any, before working with the Queer Strength Coach?
I think the only one I had was just having never worked with a coach before. I didn't really know how it would be structured, like how much feedback I would have, what the relationship would be like. But I had watched testimonials of his past clients and saw
how happy they were with working with him and how they achieved their goals. So really after the first like meeting, we had like a one-on-one just to discuss what to expect and what my goals were and how he'd support me. I didn't really have any other reservations.
So, Patrick, what would you say to someone who's on the fence or considering working with the queer strength coach?
Just do it. If you already know what your goals are and maybe have been struggling to get there on your own, it's okay to ask for help. And Dan helped me throughout the past 6 months, and it's been great. And if you have any hesitations, just talk to him. We had a call right off the bat where he outlined how we'd work together. And from then on, it's been great. So give it a shot.
Patrick, I appreciate you telling your story and answering those questions. Is there anything else you have to add? Any comments, parting thoughts?
I would just say weight training and strength training was kind of intimidating to me. Yoga was like a safe space. So stepping into the gym where I wasn't familiar with how all the exercises go was a little intimidating. But Dan provides all the resources you need to achieve the form, get feedback, and really feel confident in the process. Dan supported me throughout the whole thing, and I didn't feel nervous stepping into the gym, and now I love going to the gym. I just listen to Lady Gaga or Sabrina Carpenter while I'm working out, and it's all good.
And what's next for Patrick Herr? This is a shout out. This is your plug. Are you working on any projects, anything that you want the fans and the audience to know about?
Yeah, I mean, beyond working another 6 months with Dan, because I want to continue growing in my strength training journey, I'm leading my first retreats next year for yoga. So more to come. Patrick Herr Yoga on Instagram. Let me know if you're interested. We'd love to have you on a retreat.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, oh, I should redo that. Sorry, that wasn't very good.
Okay, you can.
Yeah.
That's all right. I've had to redo everything.